great privilege to have you join us. First of all, to be chosen to be the repository of the model, and it's going to have a place of honor on the Heritage Center deck out there. As a matter of fact, just in case he asked you, you can say it replaced the USS Constitution, which is going to be the Constitution will be moved and placed in another room, but you are going to have the place of honor right here outside the door of the library, where we've had a tremendous amount of traffic. We've always felt a very great privilege to have Liberty choose us for their memorial, for their plaques, and so on. And we promise you we will be good stewards. And again, we thank you, and it's just a privilege to have you with us.
Thank you.
Everybody's attention, please. Admiral, I just want to thank you from the crew of the USS Liberty that we were able to have this model displayed here. And what can I say? Here in Washington, it's the greatest place to have it. I couldn't think of a greater place to have it. So thank you for being so generous to allow us to have the model.
Thank you again for giving us the privilege of having it.
Will you be ringing the bell at the White House?
Your name, sir?
My name is Rick Aimetti. I'm a survivor of the USS Liberty.
And Rick, what was your position on the ship?
I was in damage control at the time.
And you just mentioned how old you were at the time. You were a fairly young fellow.
Yes,
back
I was
then.
19 years old.
And where are you from originally?
I'm from New York, on Long Island.
And so you went through all that. You had the cover up.
That's correct.
And how did that all make you feel? The fact that you went through that, you had the 34 men killed, 171 injured, and nobody knows about it. You're not allowed to talk about it.
Well, you know, like I said, for 30 years or more, we couldn't say anything about it. And it was all kept inside of all our minds, and we really couldn't talk to each other either, actually, with the threat that we'd be put in the brig, and we'd, you know, they'd throw away the key kind of thing. And I'm sure it's all affected us mentally somehow or another. Just holding those kind of memories and things inside that you know, of the atrocities that happened on board the ship. I mean, I found one of my good friends in 3 pieces up on the forward mount, and you know, and we just had to carry the bodies back to the reefer, which is the refrigerator on the ship. We kept our food. Had to put the bodies in there. Then we had to eat the food out of that refrigerator. So I mean, you know, things like that. I mean, we had to take hoses. I know one of my shipmates, Phil Turney, and I had to take the fire hoses and actually wash down the decks, washing pieces of bodies over and stuff. I mean, those are our shipmates who were washing over the side, and those kind of things bother me. And Phil and I also went down to the research area where the torpedo had hit, and we were pulling guys out of the hold, and until we had to close the hatch. Of course, we would have flooded another deck. The ship would have gone down. But to this day, I hope and pray that we never locked anybody down there. I mean, you know. But these are the things that you have to keep inside your head for so many years, and you know, and how they affect you, you know, and I'm sure the rest of the guys in the crew, you know, mentally.
So, I forget the exact numbers that were killed by the aircraft, and then there may have been about 25 that were killed by the torpedo.
That's approximately right, yeah.
So, where were you on the ship when it first got attacked by the Israeli aircraft?
I was in the aft part of the ship in the Shipfitter shop,
and I had looking over here at the model then, yeah.
It's back here on the opposite side, with the captain's gig on the opposite side, so with the ship with the white, above the white. That was the Shipfitter shop on that side, and I was in there.
Under the deck.
Inside the
deck house. You see it?
Yeah.
Inside there. We're below decks. We're inside the deck house on the opposite side.
And we heard explosions, and I thought to myself that it was probably shore batteries that were hitting us, because we're 16 miles off the coast in international water, and I figured they were shooting rockets at us or something, and they were hitting the ship, so we just had to go out a little further to get away from them. But they continued, and then I heard swishing sounds over the ship, and I noticed the jets that were flying over, so they sent a general quarters, and we had to go to our general quarter station. Mine happened to be in the bow of the ship in the forecastle, so I had to go all the way forward
to the ship, to my general quarter station.
You had to go all the way back then.
From here, all the way up to the bow.
Up to the bow of the ship.
Right.
And meanwhile, the jets are coming by. They're making these passes,
making runs, and shooting rockets at us, and throwing napalm on us, believe it or not.
Yeah. And they took out all these antennas too, didn't they? They knew what the hell they were doing. They took out the brig. I mean, they went for the cheap.
They took out all the main antennas first, so we couldn't get any signals out. And then they came by and they started plugging holes in all the watertight bulkheads, knowing that the torpedo boats would be next. I mean, I think the whole thing was orchestrated very well, because if the torpedo boats that came with helicopters to land on board, we wouldn't let them on board.
So you mentioned that you remember William Allen Ball from Baltimore.
Yes, yes.
And he was a young fellow too,
absolutely.
like yourself.
Yeah.
In fact, he was so young that his
I think we're about the same age.
Yeah, his second child, he never met his second child. She was born after he died. So you got all these. How do you feel then about the day that the model's coming here? It's going to be presented. It has been presented to the museum. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel. I mean, I feel very sad inside to see the model. It almost makes me. It gives me a funny feeling to see the model. I don't know. It brings me back. But on the other hand, I feel very proud that that maybe the American people will finally get to see, learn something about this incident that they should. Like I had told the young lady before she was interviewing me, I said to her, I just want my own mind. I would just like the story to be told so that the families and the crew that are still alive can have peace and closure. And finally have the truth be told. That's all we wanted, the truth to be told. You know, we don't want to be called anti-Semites and the rest of it, because we're not. We're really not. We just want the truth to be told. And there's no reason why we can't. Between the cover-ups and everything else, we just, you know, it's time. It's time we know.
42 years.
42 years is well too long.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.